course, we're at Alavanca BJJ. We're going to be going over some leg locks and addressing the hierarchy of positions from weakest to strongest. So, Igor. Now, first thing when we think about leg locks, we always know the classical straight ankle lock, right? This is going to be one of our weakest tier finishes. So the first tier, the lowest tier, we're going to consider the straight ankle lock. The reason why is because the lack of mobility it has. It's a low finishing percentage move, and we'll show you why. So the reason why it becomes a weak tier finish is there's not a lot of versatility to it. I don't have a lot of mobility with the move. Once he starts defending, we're in almost like a freeze frame position. He's going to start shooting his foot forward and stiffen it. So right now we're almost at that stalemate. All he has to do is extend his leg straight, keep his foot flexed upwards, and now he can start establishing an offense. So it's not that I'm hopeless here, it's just now that the rally has reversed to where I'm gonna have to adjust to him and not vice versa. Now we're gonna go over the toe hold. So the toe hold is gonna be second. The reason why is if I can't curl the toe to the butt and lock him in this position, we can just keep going forever and ever rolling, trying to finish the move, right? This can be attempted a lot by them trying to roll out of bounds as a tactic. However, come back down onto your back. It's also exploitable from here. If the toe hold's attempted, all he has to do is bare and below. The other foot. I'm sorry, Igor. He's broken, this guy. So also for standing, all he has to do is berimbolo out of the toe hold. And he's out. It's a very low percentage move, just because it lacks control, since it is mostly a floating position. We're gonna go into Kneebar. So a Kneebar, it can be one of two ways, right? Three ways if you consider the belly down. You can get belly down, you can get leg side in. This side is the highest because of the fact that this leg is now trapped. The weight, it's hard to pummel him to get an escape. If I was to fall this side with it, he can use this foot and start fucking kicking my ass. Oh, I shouldn't swear. He can use this foot to start kicking out and escaping. Boom. However, just because there's the escapes of these doesn't mean that it's not a better move than the last previous two, because it A, addresses isolation of the whole leg, B, there's control upon every layer. So you got your hip, your knee line, and your ankle line, right? These are all controlled and separated. As opposed to this, where now this isn't really connected and this ankle is kind of halfway connected. So there's so much movement needed. This way, there's not a lot of movement needed for that sub. The last two we're gonna go over are the beautiful heel hooks. We have the outside heel hook. This one could be done in a variety of variations because of the fact he's gonna keep being able to roll. So as we're coming through, keep going, you're gonna have to let go, cross the other way. Now he can't roll. As he keeps rolling, it's done. So you're gonna have to switch from one to the other. So as well from bottom, right? We're gonna get our floating hook to the single leg X. We're gonna kick the leg out, pummel through, roll, and have our outside. So that's just another variation. The reason why the heel hooks are again so much better than all the others is they have far more variations, far more percentages, and a lot more torque and devastation. Now lastly, the inside heel hook. We're gonna start, right, isolating it all through. The reason why this is gonna be considered the strongest position is because you can force the most torque on the joint without having to move really at all. It's so isolated. You have your hip, your knee line, your ankle line down. You have the whole weight of your body compressing on the joint. Everything you could ever want to isolate, right? The reason why it's going to be higher than this is because when you go here for the outside versus the inside, you have the option for them to roll, and you're having to re-pummel all this structure. You're having to do a lot of thinking on the fly depending on their movement. This one, they're having to react to you, whether it's a 50-50 inside or a saddle inside. It's all you attacking. You don't have to think of what they're doing. They have to think of what you're doing.